stream, it is not looking too good. So I'm going to get this thingy off the front here, and this is what we're talking about today. Do Spurs have the best forwards in the Prem? Again, apologies if the stream is a little bit laggy at this end. That is down to myself. Anyway, welcome to the stream. Welcome to PRTv. I am joined in the house by, as usual, the guests, Sid Spurs and Sean Hell. Welcome, guys. As I said, apologies in advance. You might ask me a question. I might ask you a question, and it'll be like a 30-second delay, but I'm going to try and work with it. As long as the viewers aren't affected by it, I don't really care. So, before we start, make sure you log on. Make sure you like the stream. Make sure you also subscribe to the channel if you are new. And as you can see, I've got my headset on today, so we can go into this. I know you like that one. You like that one, didn't you? I know you like.
I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna say. You know what I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna say it in a minute. Yeah, but I'm gonna say it. Don't worry.
I don't care what you're going to say. I'm not bothered no more. I'm just going to go with it. I'm running with it. Anyway, let's get on with this show before this all goes bloody pear-shaped. There's no Love Island. There's no games on, so people should be already waiting to see what we've got. No, I don't like that background. Let me change the background. There we go. Okay, let's get into this. Right then. This is the show today. We are talking about... Okay, a bit pear-shaped here. We are talking about, do Spurs have the best attack in the Premier League? Do Spurs have the best forwards in the Prem? Number 75 talking points. We saw the game. I've seen most of the game. I didn't get to go to the game on Saturday. Darius 3K did. Sid did as well. I'm sure you both enjoyed it. I know you did the reaction show as well after the game, Sean, and I think we're still all happy, aren't we?
I'm absolutely ecstatic. I was watching it on the TV. Yeah, it was the best performance of the season, without a doubt. And I think both Deji and I agreed in the review show, and I think we kind of got, the audience participation seemed to concur to best performance. Richarlison made the debut to be really proud of. The only thing that, it missed was a goal, and he was, an absolute breath of fresh air, particularly in the department we're going to talk about tonight.
Exactly. Sid, your thoughts on the game quickly before we move on to the star of the show, I kind of think, because I really thought he had a really, from what I've seen so far, I'm 70 minutes in, and, the guy, Richarlison, we're going to talk about him. But from your point of view, what was the game like?
Do you know what? The first game I missed, or the first couple of games I've missed, and I've missed a performance. So from what my kids and missus tell me, that it was a good game. Spurs played really well. Unfortunately for me, I'd missed it. So, yeah, but it was all good. All you guys on streams, all you guys on social media, everyone said it was really good. And match of the day as well, it seemed pretty good as well. And even the day after, and people are still talking about it. So it must have been a good performance.
Oh, yes, it was a good performance. Like I said, 75 minutes in for me, and it's looking okay. Right then, let's get on with this. Our friend, Mr. Richarlison, he's winding up a lot of people. He's actually doing very good things at Spurs. I saw a bit of an interview of Højbjerg with some of the Spurs guys afterwards, and he's singing his praises. He's looking like he's a player that's really going to be a fan favorite. Talk to me about what you thought about Richarlison. When we initially got that purchase, a lot of people were saying it's a lot of money for a player that might not be a first team regular. But as I said, it is a player that has come into the club, has come in and done more than enough in terms of me to start. But we saw him start at the weekend. Cry more. Is he a player that's now going to wind up all the rest of the Premier League? But has he also got the quality behind him to make sure that he can get a start possibly for the next game? Playing Manchester City on Saturday, but before that we've got Marseille. Where do you think he stands in terms of starting now for the next game, Sean?
Sam, I think it's difficult to predict with Conte, isn't it? I mean, for example, when he was picked on Saturday, well, it was good, but I was surprised that it was Kulusevski that made way for him. But You know, Conte is always likely to do that for you. It's very difficult to guess him, in spite of what Spurs social media tries to get us to do by picking our teams. You know, it's very difficult to know what's going on in the training in the week. Everyone says, you know, and Højbjerg picked up on it. He's great to train against as well as be a teammate of. Yeah, I mean, I think he certainly, you know, he's there for consideration. I wonder whether. I have a feeling on Wednesday he won't be playing. I think he'll go back to the tried and tested front three, our trident, if you like. But he's a great option to have coming off the bench.
It certainly is an option to definitely have coming off the bench. But I look at some of the performances of Son. I think Son played well enough from what I've seen over the weekend anyway. Kulusevski obviously didn't get a start, but hasn't probably reached the heights of last season as yet, although he's played some good games. But the options that we now have with Richarlison, I'm also looking at Lucas. He's obviously still injured at the moment. We also got, I'm going to put him in there as a forward, Spence. Now, a lot of people are saying that Spence isn't going to get much game time, but I don't know whether or not Conte could actually use him in a capacity to play as a right forward in a Spurs team where we're looking to attack. You could just throw him on and get him to do anything. See, do you think that we're going to see more of, what's his name? Oh, the bloody name's gone out of my head. Jed Spence in a forward area to also join in the attack with what we've also got in complements of Kane, Son, Kulusevski, Richarlison, Lucas.
Right. So, firstly, just on Richarlison, I think from what I've heard, what I've seen, he had a blinder, but we expect that from him. He's that kind of a player where you give him the stadium, you give him the crowd, and he'll perform week in, week out for you. And he done that. And it may upset a few people, but Conte said all along, it's about squad depth. I want players competing against each other. The problem we've got in our team is certain players have not been tested, have not got any competition. They're not looking over their shoulder, because they know there's no one there. Now Richarlison's come in, certain players are now kind of thing. So it's good, you know. In terms of Spence, we've had this discussion many times, Sam, and Conte's made it clear and obvious he's not his signing, it's a club signing. And the other thing as well he said, which is quite strong as well, is he's coming from the Championship. He's got to get used to the Premiership standard. Championship and Premiership are two different levels. And I think that's what's going to hold him back. As much or as bad as Emerson can play, there's no substitute for him. Like you said, Doherty, we don't know. He's been on the bench the last couple of games. Is he going to try him? He's got to try him at some point. Now, wherever he tries him in the Champions League, it'll be a very good question. He doesn't trust him in the Prem at the moment. Do you really think he's going to trust him in the Champions League? No, not for me. I don't think he will.
You know what? Conte's done a few funny things this season. We kind of, but is there a method to his madness? He started pretty much the same players from last season. We didn't get a look for Basuma until quite late in terms of a start. That's obviously for Richarlison's first start as well. So we haven't really seen a lot of these new players kind of, you know, get their opportunity. Perisic being one of them that has, but that's a Conte man. He's known through and through by Conte. Some of the others maybe not so, but we've got 2 games a week now, pretty much all the way through till Christmas. So we are going to need to play players, and we're going to need to see whether these players can play at a level. I'm looking at Richarlison and thinking to myself that this guy, you know, has been a fan favourite at Everton. He's slowly becoming a fan favourite at Spurs, but he's got the quality as well. Are we going to see, how many goals do you think we're going to get out of our front line? Well, particularly Richarlison. Let's talk about Richarlison first, because I reckon if he scored 10 goals last season for Everton in the Premier in a really struggling team, and he played a lot of the games up front, if he get 10 goals for us this season, is that a good return?
Who's that aimed at? Sean? Go on, Sean.
Well, I mean, I would be more than happy that he's into double figures, given that, you know, he's already missed the starts of a few games. might seem a very expensive 10 goals for £60 million, but I think as you said, what you've kind of indicated there, Sam, is that he's providing competition, as Sid said. Players who were just, shoe-ins are having to look over their shoulders, and I think that's really, really good. Really good, healthy competition. It keeps players on their toes. 10 goals would be a good haul from him. Of course, we don't know how the season's going to pair out. We don't know how injuries are going to affect us. We don't know how the World Cup's going to affect us. There's so many imponderables that, certainly I would be looking at him getting 10 goals for us, certainly, yeah.
Sid, your thoughts on Richarlison? If he comes back with 10 goals this season, again, he assisted the whole BO for the goal on Saturday. So, we know he can chip in with goal contributions. He can score a goal. He upsets players. He gets in behind. He runs in behind is what I like to see. He stretches defense. Sometimes with Harry Kane as a central striker, and even with Kulusevski and Son, there's a lot of coming short. Son is obviously more the guy that wants to extend and go beyond, but he's our only real pace in the team at this moment in time. I think Richarlison's got some pace, and I like the fact that he wants to stretch and go the other way. So if we can at times get him in that central area, I think he'll score goals. What are you looking as a return from him this season?
Do you know what? We're blessed with what we've got in Kane, Kulu, Son, right? And Richarlison now is an added fourth dimension kind of thing, fourth player. And he can play up front, he can play on the right, he can play on the left, he can play wherever you want, and he'll play wherever you want from Conte. I personally think once he gets going, like Sean said, we've seen a bits and bats of him. Saturday we saw him actually start the game full, and people are saying he played absolutely brilliant. He deserved his goal, but instead he got a yellow card. But I think as the season progresses, and Conte's made this clear, now I've got strength in depth, and I'm going to have to give Harry Kane a rest. He's said that I'm going to have to rest Harry Kane at some point. That's when Richarlison will come in, and I think he'll play Richarlison up top with Son on the left and Kulu on the right. So I reckon 10 to 15 goals, I think, is a minimum I think he can get.
That would be a great return, because what did Kulusevski get in terms of goals last season? Obviously, he came late in the season to us, so I think it was about 8 goals. I can't remember.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, he was only here from February to
exactly.
May.
So he got, I think it was 8 goals. Someone in the comments put out how many goals Kulusevski got for us last season. But also his goal contribution in terms of assists as well was quite high. I'm sure it was about 15 in terms of both of them combined, but I might be wrong on that one. So put it in the section, or Sid will find out for us. Looking at now, well, I guess Wednesday's game. Would you like to see Richarlison start Wednesday, or bring Kulusevski back in? Who's going to miss out the game against Marseille?
Do you know the big imponderable is the fact that who we're playing on Saturday.
Yeah,
very true.
That is going to be sort of foremost in Conte's mind. That's not a free hit. Conte will want something out of that game. I would like us to get something out of that game too. But it wouldn't surprise me if Son started the game on the bench on Wednesday.
You think?
It wouldn't surprise me, given that Son is a City slayer, isn't he? Look at his record over the years, and he might want to think, well, rest him for that game and rest him for Marseille, and then bring him back for the game where he always turns up. So who knows? I'm hoping that across our front line, if all 4 of our strikers or our forwards score 10 goals, that's 40 goals. That's a healthy return.
Mojo saying, I think Sonny will be rested for the City game, which means he thinks he's going to play on Wednesday. As you've been saying, Sean, we know that Son does turn up against Manchester City, but then again, the whole team does. We had some good results against City last season and seasons before that with Pep in charge. Pep's not going to look forward to playing us. Sid, in terms of your thoughts for starting Wednesday and then Saturday, who do you think's the best position to start on Wednesday for us in terms of the front three?
I think it'll be Kulu, Kane, and Son on Wednesday. I can't see him starting Richarlison. to be fair. I know he had a really good game on Saturday and that, but I think Fulham game was just to test him and to see how well he would do at home. Wednesday is going to be as hard, if not harder, than Man City game, in my opinion, because Marseille are on form at the moment, the top of the top with PSG, and it's Champions League night as well. So I think it'll be the 3, and they'll use him as an impact sub to come on with 75 minutes, the standard 73, 75 minutes, and when Richarlison will come on. He won't drop Son. Son will start. And they'll think he'll be cooler, will come in, and Richarlison will give way.
I agree. I think the team will pretty much revert back to almost type for this Champions League game. First Champions League game of the season, home game. Conte's going to want to get off to a winning start. And again, with Conte, not that he doesn't trust these other players, but I think he always goes back to a tried and tested. I think Bentancur will come back in. Højbjerg will probably start. But then again, Højbjerg has been so good this season. I want to see him against City, but I don't want to see him play Marseille and then City 90 minutes, because we've seen what happens with him when he's overplayed. He does suffer, but at the moment he's looking so fit. Is Højbjerg? I think it's going to be a revert back to type in terms of a starting 11. Even bloody Emerson, he's been all right this season as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. But let's move on anyway. Let's talk about the options. We've got plenty of options now up front. Does this make us the most potent front 3, 4, 5 in the league? Where do you think we stand in terms of the best front 3, 2, whatever you want to call it? Obviously, Haaland at City is that main striker, but again, you look at their options in terms of forward line. I wouldn't say, I'm going to say Foden over Kane. No way. I'm not going to say Silva over Son. No way. What's your thoughts? Do we have the best options?
I think if you're talking about purely attacking players, I don't think anyone comes close to us. Certainly that mob down the other end of the Seven Sisters Road don't come anywhere close to us. I mean, once they're bringing Kit Kat off the bench, you know that they're in trouble. I can't see. I don't see any London club close to us. Do you? I certainly don't see any London club close to us. Liverpool maybe, because they do have
Chelsea
3
with
forward.
Aubameyang, because Aubameyang now coming into Chelsea.
Yeah, but
Sterling.
it's Aubameyang one.
I know, but I'm saying if you looked at him as a name, you'd think, oh, bloody hell, Aubameyang, Sterling. They've got Havertz. They've got obviously got the players. Pulisic's there as well. I know they got rid of Timo Werner and obviously Richarlison, Lukaku, but they still got a number of players in that attacking lineup that if they do gel, could be dangerous. But I agree. I don't think they're as good as us, because I don't think they're going to click like we are personally.
You know what the problem with Chelsea and their attackers and midfielders is like you're going in to buy some glue, yeah? And instead of buying Bostik, you're going into Poundland and buying a 90p glue. So when you stick it together, it falls apart. Whereas we've got that top-end glue where you stick it all together, it's not falling apart.
We have got more than glue. We've got super glue up top. It's not just Bostik. Proper super glue stuff here. I look at the front. Well, okay.
There are other glues. There are other glues available. Before Gorilla get onto us.
Yeah.
There are other glues available, people.
Are we looking for sponsorship here?
We are. Yeah. But Sam, do you know what?
Yes.
The answer, I think, right? I think City are on par. I think you can't knock what they've got going forward. They've got a goal machine now, right? That's what they've been craving for, and they've got him in now. And then I'm gonna class. You got Foden, you got Silva, you got Mahrez, you got Grealish, right? You've got them 4. So I think they're on par with us in terms of as good quality as.
But in terms of form at the moment, because if you look at Grealish, not really seeing much of him this season. Foden, okay. But he's, again, not always seen. I don't know. With City, I think it's going to be Haaland and De Bruyne for me. They're 2 key players. Yes, they've got all the rest of them. I understand that. But if you can stop Haaland and you can stop De Bruyne, I think pretty much you kind of stop City. Now, what we've seen teams do against us is try and stop Kane. stop him getting into that midfield area, and that kind of stops our through balls into the middle, which then gets put. What I saw on Saturday, from what I've seen so far, is they kind of rotated that central position. So I saw Son drop in there a couple of times. I saw Richarlison also drop in there. What I liked about that was, so sometimes, Kane went onto the right-hand side and Richarlison was through the middle. But then obviously when Kane went off, it was Richarlison. So we have got options to hopefully address the issue which I found last year was teams knew how we were going to play. If we can get over that, our front three can damage anybody, definitely. But yeah, in terms of goals, what a combined output, I'm looking at Kane getting 20 goals this season. Obviously, if you look at Son, not scored so far, but 20 goals plus last season. If Richarlison can chip in with 15 goals, that's 55 goals between them. And let's say 10 to 15 from Kulusevski. That amount of goals, if we can get from in the Premier League from our front four. Now, it might not be the case because they won't all get the same sort of game time, but I'm hoping that Conte does rotate equally amongst some of them. We might not see Harry Kane drop too often. We might not even see Son drop too often, but I hope that they will get game time. How many goals? Give me a number.
So
for each of the players. Talk about Kane. Because Kane now, third top goal scorer in the Premier League. How much can he get this season for us?
Well, do you know what? Everyone's been saying blah, 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 blah about Kane this season, but he's already got what? 5? Has he got 5?
Mm-hmm.
5. Right. All right. Haaland's running away with it, but we've had Chelsea, we've had West Ham, we've had some decent hard games. So I think Kane can get. I'm just going to stick to the round number. What you said, I think Kane can get 20 easily. 20 for me. Are we going all 3, or are we just going with Kane?
Nah, go with all 3. 4.
I think Kane can get 20, 15 from Son, which because it will happen. 35. I think Kulu will get about 10. Richarlison will get about 10. So that's me. 10, 20, 40, 55 between them 4.
Sean, if we get 55 goals out of them, where would that take us? A lot of goals there, because we defensively
that's a lot of
good.
goals.
Defensively,
given that we're also scoring in other areas of the field as well at the moment, I think that certainly puts us in the top 4. In the top 3, I would even say. We that's the one thing I'm excited about this season, is that the potential for goals is incredible, and we just, if Saturday is a sign of them getting the link play working a bit better, I'd like to see the development of Spence to give us real threat on the right, or if not, the recovery of Doherty to give Emerson a bit of a challenge. We're doing well. I've said it. I'm getting kind of a bit sick of hearing myself say it, but I said 14 points from the first 6 games, didn't I? We're sitting on the 14 points of the first 6 games, and I think we're on target. We're on target for. I thought we would finish a close third behind Liverpool. Liverpool are having trouble.
Who did you think was going to be second then?
I thought Liverpool would be second, but we would be closer.
Oh, right. I thought we were being close. Oh, right. Gotcha. So you think Liverpool's... No, I don't think Liverpool will be second this season now, personally. But we shall see.
Well, even Klopp has said 9 points from their first 6 games is not what he wanted.
No. We've kind of touched on it already. Goals. Not only have we looked like we've got the potential to score goals, the defense is going to be a key factor for us this season. So if we can keep more clean sheets, I know Lloris pulled off a pretty much a worldy save at the end off the deflection from Mitrovic, which obviously won the game for us. Had that gone in, it's a draw. But defensively, we look good now. I look at Dyer in that defense. I looked at Longley and I thought, yeah, he's a good player. If we can keep more clean sheets, we are always going to be nicking goals. Are you comfortable now that we seem to be more of a counter-attacking team? Or is that fair on Spurs? Because I looked at that first half and it didn't look like it looked like we were more in control of that game than I've seen us for all of the games this season so far. So if we can get that sort of play and we can get that developed and we can, develop that side of the game, I think the goals will come anyway. I think someone's going to get a hiding this season at some point. There's going to be 4 or 5. But we haven't really hit the heights apart from the Southampton game with the likes of 4 goals. Do you think there's going to be an output of goals in the next few games post City?
I don't think there will be. I just think we're going to get these 2s and maybe 1s. I don't see until we actually proper click, and I can't in terms of that. I think we waste quite a lot. But I think come January is when we might start seeing 4 goals or something. But you never know, mate. We might end up scoring 4 against City. Not that it's going to happen, but you know what? It's an interesting one. We've not, apart from Southampton scoring 4, we've scored 2. We've tried some games. We've just sat back on 2. Some we've tried to get more. It's just not happened. But you never know, Sam. I think I agree with you. Somebody somewhere is going to get a licking, but when, I'm not sure.
Somebody is.
Well, I mean, the obvious name for that at the moment is Leicester City, who we play quite soon.
Yes, that's a couple of weeks after the game this week. Well, no, it's the 17th.
Is it the week after City?
17th.
Week after
the 17th.
Yeah, week after City. The reason I put that talked about the goals sort of thing is because, as I said, we've seen Arsenal. Are they top goal scorers at the moment? No, City are obviously with Haaland with 10 goals just by himself, which is madness. But I think we've got a better defense than City. In my personal opinion, I think our defense is better than City. Now, if we're talking about a comparable forward line, then the difference could be in the midfield area. Now, City play a different midfield style to us, but I watched Bentancur come back into that team on Saturday, and he was like, yeah, I can see why now Basuma is not quite getting into this team. Højbjerg, as I said, he's guaranteed start for me if he's fit, and if he doesn't get to red line, he's going to start most of these games. And it is going to be a case of who's going to partner him. Bentancur looks like the guy. If we can keep them clean sheets, and I say we can get the goals, I think we're going to be plus. Well, where do we need to be in terms of a goal difference to really be up the top? I'm not quite sure where it's going to take us. But like I said, I think there's going to be a lot of goals scored by a lot of players, because Kane's chasing this record. He's on 189 goals, is it now?
Well, yeah.
He went into third place
above Andy Cole.
Andy Cole, yeah.
So he's chasing records. So I don't anticipate that Kane's going to drop off, provided he stays fit. But is he going to be happy with a bit of rotation? Conte's already said he's going to be needed to be rotated. The other thing I just wanted to touch on is where else could we going to get the goals from? If the front 4, we saw Højbjerg score at the weekend, where else can you see goals coming from in the team? Sid?
This I was going to say that whilst you was going about the strikers and that, and you were saying scores, goals. This is the difference now between City and us. City have got goal scorers across the middle of the whole midfield and strikers. Rodri can score, Bernardo Silva scores, Mahrez scores, Foden scores, so every one of them can score goals. Whereas with us, all right, Højbjerg's got 2, I understand that, but Bentancur's not got anywhere near. I think they're all scared from shooting from outside the box or inside the box for whatever reason. Perisic, maybe we can see a bit more of him scoring. Sessegnon's getting there in them positions, but I think he's then sitting back and thinking, do I pull the trigger or do I square it? And he's going for the easy option of squaring it. But they now need, our midfield and the wing backs need to step up and start contributing, because at some point, like you said, Son's not scoring at the moment. Kulu's gone a little bit dry. Kane's doing the running and the business, but Højbjerg's chipped in. The rest have to start chipping in. And personally, I don't think we've got a midfield that can actually score as many goals as we need to.
You know what? I think Højbjerg is going to be pushed forward a bit more. He's getting into attacking areas, which I didn't see him too much last season. Now, I know he's always been said that he is a player that can play further forward, and he's always played further back for us. But him getting into the box, saw it in pre-season as well, seen it in the last few games that he's played. He looks fitter. He looks like he can do that box-to-box thing, because, yeah, to score and that was a good finish. It was a good finish. It was like a 2-touch, he came back in the box, not a lot of space. He finished well. we can get goals from midfield. I think the biggest area we need to get goals from is in those wide areas, particularly those wing backs. As I said, we saw Sessegnon do that. We've got to get some goals from Emerson. I know he's probably played as well as I've seen him play, but we need output from him. We definitely need output from him.
He's obviously listening to you, Sam, because he had 2 shots on target at the weekend, including one from left back. He hit the post from left back.
I ain't seen that. Oh, shoot. I need to watch now. Well, if he can start doing that, and that's one side of his game that I think would need to massively improve. I've seen improvements in him, and I've always been on Emerson's case, but Conte's not dropped him this season so far, which is a sign. You know, Sessegnon, I thought might have been the player, but he's always going to be under pressure from Perisic. So once Perisic got in, it's always going to be difficult for Sessegnon. But that right-hand side, I thought, you know, Emerson, surely Doherty's going to start ahead of him. Surely Spencer's going to start ahead of him, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So again, there's a trust in him from Conte. Can he get the goals to also deliver? We shall see. We shall see. Let's go on.
I was going to say, I think the reason we haven't seen Doherty yet is that injury is proving difficult to come back from. Although, again, you know, he picked him on the bench, which seems strange. You know,
put him on the bench ahead of Spence. That doesn't make any sense to me if your player's not fully fit.
I know that it's one of those curiosities of Conte, isn't it? I mean, he had Skip on the bench against West Ham and didn't put him on when Højbjerg was clearly suffering. You know, so
yeah, yes, indeed. Happy birthday, Spurs. That's one thing we're going to say. Happy birthday, 140th birthday today for the Spurs. Right, tomorrow, Wednesday is our game against Marseille. We're going to probably have a reaction show after that. I don't know if there's any watch-alongs being planned. Anything, Sean, in the pipeline? Do you want?
Well, I am actually going to be at the game on Wednesday.
Ooh.
So I won't be doing any. I will be doing a watch along, but I will be physically in the stadium watching along. Yeah. So
sorry, what night is Wednesday night? What actual night is it? What's it called?
I don't know. Night? It's a night. It's a Champions League night.
Champions League night.
Gentlemen. But let's not upset.
Sorry, you just said we've got a game on Wednesday. We're just letting the viewers know what game it is and what competition it's in. Viewers don't know.
Oh dear.
Because when you said that, viewers might have been thinking, Premier League game on Wednesday. Who are we playing? We've got to clarify and give them the proper information.
What a wind up. It is. That's just Arsenal fans. If you are watching, good luck on Thursdays, yeah.
Thursday, Sunday. Oh,
I know.
Been there. Don't like that. Don't like that at all.
We've done that. We've moved on. Gentlemen, that is it. We've reached the end. It's 34 minutes in. Good show. Let's look forward to continuing the unbeaten run so far this season, stretching back for a few games into last season as well. Spurs are doing well. I'm not gonna tempt fate by saying this is, no, it's not. I'm not gonna do anything more. That's it. I'm not saying anything more. Right. Make sure you smash a like for this stream. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, do subscribe to the channel. The call center look might change for the next time you see me on. But I had little choice today. But anyway, that's as much as I'm going to say about that. Thank you all for watching this. We've got one more comment here. Good show again, lads. Thank you very much, Mojo. Regular viewers. Let's just see who's in the house. Colin Lumsden, as per usual. Welcome. Strange name here. Ingo, what's it called? Ingo Yudo Mallorca. So we've got viewers from Mallorca watching.
He's in Mallorca, yeah.
Buenas noches.
Happy days. Juice Nuts is in there. Always got to be careful with that name. Andy James is there as well. Thank you very much for watching. We've had 30 over you watching at this.
I hope we're all hitting likes, boys. I hope we're hitting the likes.
Tell them. Hit them likes, hit them like buttons. If you're watching again, if you're watching on catch, whatever you're doing, just make sure you smash like. We want to get as many likes as possible. Really helps out the channel. I think that will do us. That will do it. Right, gentlemen. Look forward to the game on Wednesday. Look forward to the game on Saturday. Come on, you Spurs. Happy birthday, Spurs. And we, hopefully, if I can find it here, because it's been a bit of a problem stream today for me.
Happy birthday to you.
Let's get out of here. Right.
It's just different.